ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। गीताध्यानम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावः दुग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्. Let's chant a couple of verses. अकीर्तिं चापि भूतानि कथयिष्यन्ति ते व्ययाम् सम्भावितस्य च कीर्तिः मरणादतिरिच्यते भयाद्रणादुपरतं मन्स्यन्ते त्वां महारथाः येषां च त्वं बहुमतः भूत्वा यास्यसि लाघवम् अवाच्यवादांश्च बहून् वदिष्यन्ति तवाहिताः निन्दन्तस्तव सामर्थ्यं ततो दुःखतरन्नु किम् हतो वा प्राप्स्यसि स्वर्गं जित्वा वा भोक्ष्यसे महीम् तस्मादुत्तिष्ठ कौन्तेय युद्धाय कृतनिश्चयः. So far Sri Krishna had unfolded the vision of the Upanishads, the highest wisdom about Atma or Brahma Vidya. And Krishna tells Arjuna, Arjuna, why are you grieving? Atma, there is no death or birth for Atma. Na hanyate hanyamani sharire na hanti. And Veda vinashinam nityam ya enam ajamavyayam katham sa purusha partha kam ghatayati hantikam. How can Atma kill and how can Atma be killed? So why are you grieving? But at the same time, Krishna understands that this lofty vision of the Upanishads, Atma Jnanam, is not easy to assimilate right away. And so from the Adhyatmika Drishti, Krishna steps down to a more pragmatic approach and gives the Laukika Drishti or the social angle and begins to speak about Swadharma topic. And so he tells Arjuna, Arjuna, as a Kshatriya, it is your Swadharma to uphold the law and order situation. Yeah. And this Dharma Yuddha, it is not desired by you. It is Yadrichaya Upapannam. Destiny has presented you this golden opportunity to prove your competence and worth. So only fortunate Sukhinaha Kshatriyas will get such an opportunity. And if you win, you get the kingdom back. And if you lose, then there is Veera Swarga waiting for you. It's a win-win situation. But Arjuna, if you do not go ahead with this Dharma Yuddha, do you know what are the consequences? All these Maharathas, these warriors, they will defame you. You will sink in their eyes. They will speak so lightly of you and utter unspeakable words. What will they say? You know, the great warrior Arjuna, he was trembling, his Gandiva bow slipped from his hands, he collapsed in the chariot and ran away out of fear. This is going to be the breaking news in Kurukshetra. Can you handle these comments? Can you handle this criticism, Arjuna? So you will have a guilt conscience, there will be regrets, yeah, and you will go into depression. So all this we covered in the last session, and how Krishna is motivating Arjuna with this argument of the Swadharma. Now, the shift of topic happens, and Krishna has explained Sankhya Yoga or Brahma Vidya in great detail from the verse 11 to 30. And now from 38 onwards, we are going to see how Krishna is going to praise Karma Yoga or the performance of one's Swadharma. How exactly does one handle Swadharma? I told you Swadharma was very well defined in the Vedic times, as the Varnashrama system was in place. Today, it is more of the role playing. What needs to be done as a parent, as a teacher, as a doctor, as a judge, whatever situation I am in, what does that situation demand of me? The role playing would be Swadharma. That would be my Nitya Karmas. And then along with that, depending on the ashrama, there will be additional karmas like Naimittika karma, Shraddha, Tarpana, etc. So now we are going to see that Krishna is going to talk about how to perform one's Swadharma, which is free from Raga Dvesha. So the entire psychology of the Bhagavad Gita is management of Raga and Dvesha. Now all of you are familiar with these terms. Still, I will explain it briefly. Raga is attachment. If I say I love winter weather, there is a raga there. Then I hate or I dislike brinjal vegetable, dvesha. So these raga, dvesha, Adi Shankaracharya explains in his Bhashya, they are the twin currents, the impurities which make our mind turbulent. Raga, dvesha for a color, for a vegetable, it's not so harmful. But Krishna tells Arjuna, you should not fight because you hate Duryodhana, Dushasana and Karna. Nor should you fight because you like to fight. That you are crazy after power and kingdom and wealth. No. So that freedom from Raga Dvesha is going to be the next topic and how to manage it. So the whole teachings of the Gita is based on this very important topic, how to gain that freedom from the Raga Dvesha. So let us go now to the next verse in sequence, and that is verse number 38. Sukha dukhe same kritva labha labhau jaya jayau labha labhau jaya jayau tato yuddhaya yujyasva naivam papamavapsyasi. Sukha dukhe samikritva labha alabhau jaya ajaya tataha yuddhaya yujyasva na evam papam avapsyasi. So now Krishna is talking about the evenness of the mind. Yeah. That is, in life, what do we find? Life is pretty unpredictable. So how do the situations unfold in my life? There will be sukham, there will be dukham, there will be gain, there will be loss, victory, defeat, success, failure. They will continue to happen. Sukham, dukham, labha, alabha, jaya, ajaya. So how am I going to face this stream of situations? And this is what Krishna says is buddhi yoga. So he says same kritva. Same kritva means practice the samatvam of the mind. Samatva means sameness of the mind, evenness of the mind, equanimity. Equanimity means to regard both with the inner balance and poise. That is the meaning of same kritva. Because why should I do that? Because if I don't, then the sukha situations, jaya situations, and labha situations will make me very happy and ecstatic. But then, like a seesaw, the mind will dip when the counterpart happens. Alabha, like the stocks, stock market goes up and down. So our minds will also go in a yo-yo roller coaster. So Krishna says here that Arjuna, you have the evenness of the mind and do not fight out of raga or out of dvesha. In fact, Duryodhana is doing that. Duryodhana hates you. He has lot of dvesha and he has raga for power. Yeah, but you be a yogi. Then how should one fight the war? That is doing what is to be done. That is the swadharma. So what should one keep in mind? Whether it is dharma or adharma, not whether I like it or I dislike it. Now, this war situation of Arjuna is a very extreme action. Yeah. But we have to extend the same wisdom in all our actions. When I appear for examinations or interviews or visa application ho gaya hai, then what am I doing? I have to be ready for any form of result. How it will come, when it will come, in what form it will come, nobody knows. So that is the samatvam being talked about here, that to perform, to welcome the situations as prasada and to free the mind from this agitation. In fact, raga and dvesha are really the cause of our sorrow in life. So here Krishna calls this buddhi yoga. Why buddhi yoga? Because there is a shift in attitude. Yeah. Externally, the world remains the same. People around us also may remain the same situations, but my internal response, my perspective has changed. There is an inner balance. Yeah. And such a mindset of evenness of mind is now going to be described in great detail. Now, the question is asked, why should one practice the sameness of mind? That is because I want steadiness of mind. I want a pure, steady mind. Why do I want a pure, steady mind? To appreciate the highest wisdom. So, all that Krishna has unfolded as Sankhya, in order to appreciate it, I need a certain mindset. A pure, steady, focused mindset. How will I get the mindset? By managing my raga dveshas. How will I dilute my raga dveshas? By performing karma yoga. How is karma yoga performed? By doing what is to be done. So Arjuna, you have to uphold the law and order. This is your role playing and your contribution in the cosmic yajna. And so, with a balanced mind, go ahead, not worrying about sukham, dukham, jaya, ajaya, labha, and alabha. So, this is the start of this huge topic, which is going to go on for several verses. Samam, let's chant it again. सुखदुःखे समे कृत्वा लाभालाभौ जयाजयौ ततो युद्धाय युज्यस्व नैवं पापमवाप्स्यसि. And here Krishna also is, reminding Arjuna again Na evam papam avapsyasi. You will not incur papam, Arjuna, as you think. Remember, Arjuna thinks if he fights the war and causes bloodshed and devastation, he will go to Naraka. Krishna says no. And you will indeed attain this Veera Swarga. There is only gain in every way. So, Yuddhaya Yujyasva means prepare to fight. Now, the next verse, 39. Esha te bihita sankhye, Esha te bihita sankhye, बुद्धिर्योगे त्विमां शृणु बुद्धिर्योगे त्विमां शृणु बुद्ध्या युक्तो यया पार्थ बुद्ध्या युक्तो यया पार्थ कर्मबन्धं प्रहास्यसि कर्मबन्धं प्रहास्यसि. What does Krishna say here? Esha बुद्धिः ते अभिहिता सांख्ये योगे तु इमां शृणु बुद्ध्या युक्तः यया हे पार्थ कर्मबन्धं प्रहास्यसि. So here Krishna is saying Esha. Esha. So the Sankhya is with respect to Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga is the Brahma Vidya, knowledge of Atma. With respect to Sankhya, yeah, Abhihita, I have already unfolded in great detail to you. Hey Partha, son of Pritha, I have already taught you what Sankhya, Esha. And we all heard about the Sankhya is, how Krishna went on about 6 main features of Atma. Atma is Ajaha, Amrityuhu, Avikari, Akarta, Abhokta, Sarvavyapaka, all pervading. All these we covered, and that topic was called Sankhya Yoga, which I have taught you. Te Abhihita Sankhya Esha Buddhihi. Now, Imam Shrinu. Now you listen, Arjuna, to what? To the Karma Yoga, Buddhi Yoga. So Buddhi Yoga, because it is a inner attitude of developing poise and balance. It is a cognitive shift. So welcoming any situation as prasada. So this is the Buddhi Yoga that Krishna says. Now you listen to this Buddhi Yoga. And buddhya yuktaha yaya karma bandham prahasyasi. And endowed with this Buddhi Yoga, hey Partha, you will be released from the karma bandhanam, the bondage of karma. You will be free. So you see how the Bhagavad Gita is always stressing on swadharma. Karma has to be performed. But how to perform the karma, that makes a huge difference. If I just merely perform karma based on my raga dvesha, definitely it will attract what? Bondage. So if I like something, if I dislike something, and I pursue my desires, then that karma will yield karma phalam. Karma phalam will yield papa punyam. Papa punyam will have to manifest as rebirth. Punarapi janam, punarapi maranam. But if I do not desire the karma phalam, what will happen? Then karma continues as swadharma, but the karma phalam will not bind me. So my mind is no more turbulent. No, will I get that result? When will I get that result? In what form? So the mind remains steady because I have done what is to be done, swadharma, and I am not attached to the karma phalam. Now, karma phalam is going to come, will come. But the karma yogi has performed the swadharma and is not worried and anxious about the karma phalam. So, what will happen? There will be no future disappointment and depression, anxiety, and frustration. So that is what Krishna says here, karma bandham prahasyasi. Now, why should we do Karma Yoga? For the reason that I want to gain this knowledge. So, to gain the knowledge, I have to study and purify my mind. So, Karma Yoga is the intelligent way of living which is going to slow down the samsara chakra for me. Which is Swamiji will say, already we are in a drowning situation. We are already in samsara and we are drowning in it. Now, if I add more karmas, based on raga dvesha, it's like adding more water. I have to learn how to save myself and get out of this situation. And Karma Yoga slows down the cycle, and by studying the mind, it is going to prepare me for the final release through the Sankhya knowledge. We have seen this also many times, how the liberating knowledge is Atmajnanam. Atmajnanam is given by the Guru to a Shishya who is ready to receive it. How can I be ready to receive it? When I have, prepared my mind by having lived a life of Karma Yoga. So, Karma Yoga is the indirect means to moksha, and Jnana Yoga or Sankhya is a direct means to moksha. So, this is what Krishna is saying here, that karma is not to be given up, but there is something to be done. एषा ते विहिता सांख्ये बुद्धिर्योगे त्विमां शृणु बुद्ध्या युक्तो यया पार्थ कर्मबन्धं प्रहास्यसि. Next verse. नेहाभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्. Here. न इह अभिक्रमनाशः अस्ति प्रत्यवायः न विद्यते स्वल्पम् अपि अस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतः भयात्. So you see, Krishna is really praising Buddhi Yoga or Karma Yoga and says, Na iha abhikramanashah asti. So Krishna is pointing out, what is the difference between just karma and Karma Yoga? There's a huge difference, no? Karma is performed to fulfill a desire, and so I undertake some ritual, like, a farmer will sow seeds to cultivate crops, that is karma. But then, whether I will get a good harvest or not, I can never determine. That is not guaranteed, the phalam. Or if I take any ritual, then the success of the ritual is also, not really guaranteed. What is the dakshina given? Was the dakshina proper? Were the mantras chanted properly? Was the muhurta, the time, was that proper? And so on. So the results of karma being unpredictable, I can get more than what I expected, less, equal to, or completely opposite in the karma. It is so unpredictable. That's why Gita is going to tell later on, Gahana karmanaha gati. That is, the flow of karma is extremely inscrutable, mysterious, and nobody can predict. But here, Krishna says, but in Karma Yoga, it is a win-win situation. There is no loss of investment. How? So here it says, na iha. Iha means with respect to Karma Yoga. So Buddhi Yoga. Na iha abhikramanashah asti. Abhikramanashah means a wasted effort. Sometimes when we put effort in something, we do not get what we desired. Then we get frustrated. I did not get what I expected. That is called abhikramanashah. But here, when we do Karma Yoga, there is no abhikramanashah, nasti. There is no loss at all. And what else? Pratyavayah na vidyate. Pratyavayah, we saw that earlier. It is a kind of a papa called the sin of omission. When there is a neglect of duty, then it attracts a pratyavaya papa. Now that pratyavaya papa will also not be there for one who performs the swadharma. So you see the huge difference how in karma, just karma, there is unpredictability, there's so many obstacles, yeah. But in karma yoga, I have insulated my mind with a change of attitude, with the cognitive shift. And so I am free from the desire for karma phalam. Yeah. Then there is no pratyavaya papa. And what else? Swalpamapi asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Swalpa means little. So even if I perform a little bit of karma yoga, so little bit of karma yoga means I start. I start by offering my actions, doing what is to be done, and giving up the raga dveshas and being even-minded in the mind. So then what karma yoga becomes a prayer. It is an offering because I'm not attached to the phalam. So then Krishna says that this will protect one from the great fear of death and fear of samsara even. How is that? Because when I begin to practice this buddhi yoga, I'm going against the downward tendency of the mind. Like the waterfall. If the waterfall were to go upwards, that is what the karma yogi is doing. The karma yogi, by not clinging to the karma phalam, is purifying the mind and coming to the Shreyo Marga, the Moksha Marga. And so Krishna says that for such a person, there is no abhikrama nashaha. There is no loss of effort. And there is no loss of investment. There is only gain. Yeah? By doing what is to be done. Because our Shastra, especially in chapter 6, we are going to see that the one who performs a karma yoga is desiring what? Chitta Shuddhi, and ultimately wants the moksha jnanam. So whether moksha I will get in this birth or in some future birth is definitely assured for the karma yogi. So where is the question of abhikrama nashaha? No loss of effort. Yeah. So it is going in the right direction. There is clarity about the goal and clarity about the means. That is the shloka number 40. नेहाभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्. Now, next verse is a very important verse in the Gita, oft quoted by teachers. Number 41. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi. Ekeha kuru nandana. Ekeha kuru nandana. Bahushakhayanantascha. Bahushakhayanantascha. बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः एका इह कुरुनन्दन. एका इह कुरुनन्दन. बहुशाखा हि अनन्ताः च बुद्धयः अव्यवसायिनाम्. व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः एका इह कुरुनन्दन. बहुशाखा हि अनन्ताः च बुद्धयः अव्यवसायिनाम्. So here Krishna is talking about the mindset. Now, what is the kind of the mind that will aspire for moksha? No? What is the mind of a mumukshu like? The mumukshu will have what? Eka vyavasayatmika buddhi. Now, the word vyavasaya in some regional languages means agriculture, right? Here it means clarity, nishchaya. So, vyavasayatmika buddhi refers to nishchayatmika buddhi, a well ascertained determination or clarity. Clarity about what? About the purpose of life. What is the grand finale of the Jiva Yatra? Where am I going? What is the goal? So, for the one who has understood that the goal is freedom, moksha, and that freedom is centered on me. And how to gain that moksha? Atma Jnanam. But am I ready for Atma Jnanam? Okay, I have to do Karma Yoga or Buddhi Yoga and prepare my mind for Guru Prapti and for Atma Jnanam, then Jnanameva Mokshaha. So when the priorities are clear, when the direction is clear, when the goal and purpose of life is clear, and that can be only one. The one thing, moksha. If that is clear, then one has a vyavasayatmika eka buddhi. That is mentioned here. Vyavasayatmika buddhi eka. Hey Kuru Nandana. Arjuna is addressed as Kuru Nandana. Then, but what about others if this is not clear? If it is not clear, then one will have many priorities in life. One will have many goals. Even dharma, artha, kama, all these goals will be endless. There'll be endless means, endless goals, and there'll be endless travel as a samsari. So the second line refers to the contrast. Bahushakhahi anantaha cha buddhayaha. So the buddhis means here the minds, no? The minds who are committed to various other ends, various kinds of pleasures, or gaining wealth, or power, status, name, fame, or even Swarga. I want to go to heaven after death. No, Swarga is seen as a very desired goal for some people. So such people, they will go round and they have commitment to too many things in life. Exotic vacations, where all can I invest my money? Whom can I visit? So too many investments and they lack the clarity of the purpose. Like some people, they will make even Vedanta and Gita study a part-time thing in a week. And twice a day I do yoga and once to the gym, then to the bank, and do the laundry. Friday, yes, Gita study I do. So if the Bhagavad Gita is also one of the many things, then the progress, Krishna says, will be very slow. But a mumukshu, what will the mumukshu do? He will convert all his karmas into karma yoga. Because in karmas, obstacles are many, it is unpredictable, and there is a lot of bhayam. But in karma yoga, there is the purity of mind and management of raga dveshas, and it is a win-win situation. So that is why Swamiji would say, any karma you take, professional work, we can convert it by the attitude to karma yoga. Marriage is a yoga, and fulfilling all the responsibilities. Parenting is a great karma yoga, and raising children is all karma yoga. So when we convert all the priorities into the art of karma yoga, then we are proceeding in the direction of moksha. And such a person would have a eka vyavasayatmika buddhi, which has understood that I want the ultimate freedom, and for that I am choosing this to do the buddhi yoga or karma yoga. Whereas the others, even those who live a religious life, if you do a lot of pujas and yajnas, but for the sake of a better birth, better favorable conditions, no, for our family or children or grandchildren or great grandchildren, still Krishna says it is samsara only. Because we are desiring all these phalas. But a mumukshu will develop that inner healthy detachment and detachment towards the karma phala. Now, it is not that I will not have expectations. Yeah. The parents always have expectations that the children will be responsible citizens. Fair enough. Yeah. And a professional will have expectations to get appraisals and promotions. Fair enough. So we, and a publisher of books will have expectations that he sells, 1,000 copies per year or whatever. A YouTuber will have expectations, let me have many followers, subscribers. Fair enough. Expectations does not guarantee that they are going to happen. So we are free to have expectations, but not free to demand that they be met, they be followed. So that is what Krishna is explaining here in all these words, that the one who's clear about the map of life, the route, the route, that is the Karma Yoga, is the indirect means and which will lead me to the Guru and Jnanam, and Jnanam eva moksha. Sankhya Yoga is a direct means to moksha, and moksha is the form of Atma Jnanam. Such a person has a very clear buddhi and has shraddha and commitment. Okay? Very important verse, worth memorizing. व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः एकेह कुरु नन्दन बहुशाखाह्यनन्ताश्च बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनाम्. Next we have a couple of verses which go together. So now Krishna is going to heavily criticize those who are trapped in the net of desires, who don't see anything beyond the Karma Kanda portion of the Vedas. So that is the next two verses. But, before we go there, let me briefly introduce this part also. As you all know, the Vedas are divided into two parts, Purva Bhaga, Karma Kanda, and the latter Bhaga, Jnana Kanda. And Karma Kanda is huge and voluminous, and it is sometimes described as a supermarket. Yeah. So, what is the content of the Karma Kanda? Sadhanas and Sadhya. No? Sadhanas and Sadhya. That is, there are infinite means, sadhanas, to gain infinite ends. So, we see that if, my priority in life is health, then I can do a Dhanvantari Puja. If it is to acquire wealth, then I can do Lakshmi Puja, or worship Kubera. If I want to have good eyesight, then let me chant the Surya mantras. Yeah. If I want freedom from obstacles, there's a ritual for that. If I want progeny, then Putra Kameshti. If I want to go to heaven, then there is Jyotishtoma Nachiketa Yajnaha. So like that, there are varieties of rituals and to be performed in a certain way, and which in all probability should give the end result. But again, how predictable is that? Is the end result guaranteed? Will depend on your shraddha, how well the mantras were chanted, how many pandits were there, were they given proper dakshina, was the muhurta, fixed the proper time. So that is why kahana karmanaha gati. So the Karma Kanda portion is addressing which needs of ours? Artha, Kama, and Dharma. So even the one leading a religious life, leading a dharmic life, if we are doing the pujas and the yajnas for the sake of punyam, then again, this is a desire-based karmas. So now Krishna is going to talk about those people who are completely committed and devoted to the Karma Kanda portion alone, and who exclude the Vedanta portion conveniently. Whereas what is the intention of Vedamata? The Vedamata says, the first half of your year, no doubt one will be devoted to career, family, job, wealth, artha, kama, punyam. We all want it and we have worked for it as per dharma. But then that's not the end and end purpose of life. It is like the pole vaulter. The pole vaulter gathers momentum, and then when he has to cross the height, he leaves behind the pole. So the karmas should have given us some level of satisfaction, some security, some happiness, some peace. But then we find that that is not enough. I am still a seeking, wanting person. So the latter portion of the Vedas, the Jnana Kanda, the topic is the seeking person. Who is this wanting person? And that is where the Upanishads play a role to discover the limitless Ananda Swarupa Atma. But now, in the next 2 or 3 verses, Krishna is going to talk about these people who are only devoted to the Karma Kanda. Let us look at those verses. Yamimam pushpitam vacham, Yamimam pushpitam vacham, Pravadantya vipaschitaha, Pravadantya vipaschitaha, Vedavadarata partha, Vedavadarata partha, Nanyadastiti vadinaha, Nanyadastiti vadinaha, Kamatmanasvargaparaha, Kamatmanasvargaparaha, Janma karma phalapradam, Janma karma phalapradam, Kriya vishesha bahulam, Kriya vishesha bahulam, Bhogeshwarya gatim prati, Bhogeshwarya gatim prati. So there are long words here. Yam imam pushpitam vacham pravadanti vipaschitaha. Vedavadarataha he partha na anyat asti iti vadinaha. Kamat Kamatmanaha Svargaparaha Janma Karma Phalapradam Kriya Vishesha Bahulam Bhogeshwarya Gatim Prati. So here we are going to see that how Krishna criticizes those who are only committed to karma marga. So Yam Imam Pushpitam Vacham and says that these people are avipaschitaha. See, avipaschitaha means those who are, ignorant. Yeah, ignorant of the true goal of life. They do not have this eka vyavasayatmika buddhi. So no doubt these people are Vaidikas. They accept the Vedas and they also accept papa, punyam, dharma. Yeah, they believe in life after death, all this. But for them, what is the goal? If it is not moksha, it is heaven. Yeah. Why do they desire heaven? Because heaven is seen as a desirable state. There is no Yamadevata in heaven. There is no aging. There is no fear of samsara. There is no death. And one has a sukshma sharira. One enjoys non-stop entertainment. There is no suffering. No water problem. No electricity problem. No internet issues. Swarga. Swarga paraha. That was the word there. So, Swarga paraha are these people. So, Yam Imam Pushpitam Vacham Pravadanti. These avipaschitaha means those who are lacking clarity. And they are Vedavadarataha. Vedavadarataha means they extol about the Vedas. They are so attached to the Karmakanda portion. And so they are committed to only the Karmakanda portion. Hey Partha, what do they say? Yam Imam Pushpitam Vacham. They utter flowery words. Pushpitam vacham pravadanti. What do they say? Na anyat asti iti vadinaha. Vadinaha means they argue. They argue that there is nothing beyond this life. So what is their perspective? They feel that this is the precious life. We don't know whether there will be a future life. So you perform karmas, you go after your desires and fulfill them and enjoy and be merry and then go to heaven. Because the Vedas are showing you the ritual to go to heaven. This is their ideology. Yeah. Na anyat asti iti vadinaha. That was 42 shloka. Then what are they? They are kamatmanaha. Kamatmanaha means that they are full of desires. Full of desires. What kind? Svarga paraha. Svarga paraha means for them Svarga is the param ayanam. The goal is to go to a heaven. Now we all know that heaven is attained by punya. Yeah, but it is believed that is punya will take me to heaven. But then shine punye punarapi martyalokam vishanti. When the punya, like the debit card, is exhausted, one has to return and top up the debit card. So karma. So that they are not aware of that. For them, swarga is param, swarga paraha. And so they are attached to the karma kanda and they say kriya vishesha bahulam. There are a varieties of kriyas, karmas and rituals in the karma kanda. What are they for? Bhoga aishwarya gatim prati. To attain pleasures, bhoga, aishwaryam, power, and they are janma karma phala pradam. They will give us future favorable births. So these people are, what are they uttering flowery words about? They utter words that look at the karma rituals. You can become an Indra, Chandra, you can become next CM, president. So they are talking about the promise of the Karma Kanda portion of the Vedas. And even the next verse is somewhat similar to this. And Krishna says that they are completely deluded and they are lacking in this Vyavasarika Buddhi. Bhogaishvarya prasaktanam Bhogaishvarya prasaktanam Taya pahrita chetasam Vyavasayatmika buddhihi Samadhau na vidhiyate. So these people are bhoga aishwarya prasaktas. Prasakta means they have a prakarshena asakti. Asakti means attachment, clinging attachment. So they are attached to what? Status. And that is aishwaryam, name, fame. It is believed that, they can become the next Chandra, next Indra, ruler of heaven. So this is what they are aspiring for. And bhoga, pleasures. Bhoga aishwarya prasaktanam and their chetas. Chetas is what? Apahrita. Apahrita means robbed. Their discriminative power is stunted and robbed. Taya, by these words, flowery words. They are carried away by, such words promising them bhoga and aishwarya. So then Krishna rounds up the section and says, Vyavasayatmika buddhi samadhau na vidhiyate. And Adi Shankaracharya explains, here the meaning of samadhi is the mind. So in their mind, there cannot be clarity at all. That Vyavasayatmika, Nischayatmika buddhi is not there. Samadhau na vidhiyate. Yeah. So these three verses from 42 onwards, Krishna is contrasting and saying the unintelligent ones, the non-discriminating ones, and they are, carried away by the Karma Kanda portion of the Vedas alone, and they repeatedly go round and round in the samsara because of the lack of vyavasayatmika buddhi. Next one, 45. त्रैगुण्यविषया वेदाः त्रैगुण्यविषया वेदाः निस्त्रैगुण्यो भवार्जुन निस्त्रैगुण्यो भवार्जुन निर्द्वन्द्वो नित्यसत्त्वस्थः निर्द्वन्द्वो नित्यसत्त्वस्थः निर्योगक्षेम आत्मवान् निर्योगक्षेम आत्मवान् त्रैगुण्य विषयाः वेदाः निस्त्रैगुण्यः भव हे अर्जुन निर्द्वन्द्वः नित्यसत्त्वस्थः निर्योगक्षेम आत्मवान्. So now Krishna is coming back to Arjuna. In all this, what we are seeing is the praise of Karma Yoga. And we saw that just now, we saw how these people are filled with desire-based karmas. So Krishna is saying, you give up your raga dvesha and change to Karma Yoga. So he says the Vedas are Traigunya Vishaya. Now, Traigunya means you can take it in two ways. Three gunas. The three gunas are going to come much later in chapter 14 of the Bhagavad Gita, but we know Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So the entire day, if you look at the day, there are sattvic moments in the morning, then Rajas, the heat of the moment, we're very active, then Tamas, mind gets clouded and we feel sleepy and lazy. So the three gunas are constantly keeping the life going. And so the Vedas also, they are about the three gunas. How to increase sattva and rajas and tamas. All the karma kanda portion will keep us going round and round in the three gunas. And that is why the Vedas are Traigunya Vishayaha. Then another meaning given is the three gunas are referring to dharma, artha and kama. We saw the fourfold purusharthas earlier. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Moksha is called parama purushartha because the one who has eka vyavasayatmika buddhi will discern this. Moksha is the ultimate goal. This is what I really want. It's in the form of freedom and which is gained by Atmajnanam. But who are not yet there, they are going round and round in what? Rounds of dharma, artha and kama. Majority will want artha and kama, security and pleasure. And dharma, of course, is punya. Okay? So, Traigunya Vishya Vedas, the Vedas, they content or what they guide one within the three gunas, within these three purusharthas, dharma, artha, kama. But, hey Arjuna, bhava, you become what? Nistraigunya. So Krishna says, you be free from the attraction of the gunas. You approach the Paramapurushartha. And that is in the Jnana Kanda portion of the Vedas, where the topic is Nirguna Parabrahma Atma. So Nistraigunya Bhava He Arjuna. And then the next line, and Krishna says, for that you have to be what? Nirdvandvaha, Nityasattvastaha, Niryogakshemaha, Atmavan. Powerful words here. Nirdvandvaha means free from the dvandvas. Dvandvas are the pairs of opposites. We already saw Sukham, Dukham, Jaya, Ajaya, Labha, Alabha, heat, cold. Pairs of opposites will continue to afflict one. But the one who has developed that manobalam, the inner detachment, they cannot afflict one. So you be a nirdvandvaha, free from the gunas, free from the pairs of opposites by diksha, by karma yoga. Then nitya sattvastha. Nitya sattvastha means you be grounded in sattva guna. Now, Sattva Guna is the only guna which will give me clarity of purpose, which will give me viveka and vairagyam and desire for this knowledge. Whereas Rajasic mind, what will a Rajasic mind do? It wants promotions, more wealth, stock investments, climbing the corporate ladder. And Tamas will have deep addictions, will be closed, dark mind and go into depression. But sattva opens the door to moksha. So Krishna says, you be a nitya sattvastaha. Then nir yoga kshema. All these words are going to come in great detail later on. But briefly here, we are seeing what is yoga kshema. Yoga is acquiring something in life. Let's say, I want a car, I want to invest my wealth, or I have a child. No? Acquiring, having a family is yoga. But kshema is more important. Kshema is how am I going to preserve and protect them? So the whole of life, is it not spent in acquiring and protecting? Now I have a car, then I have to pay the insurance and the bills and take care of it, maintain it. House, I have to pay the house tax and maintain it. And that is called kshema. Child, I have children, I have to take care now. Kshema. So here Krishna is saying, but Arjuna, now you be free from the concern and anxiety about acquiring and preserving. Niryoga kshema bhava, be free. Don't have the anxiety. Then the last word, Atmavan. Atmavan means here Atma is not Satchidananda Atma, but the body, mind, senses. So Atmavan means have self-mastery. Yeah. So Shamadama. Let there be no pramada. Let there be not neglect of duty and laziness or lack of alertness. Have Atmavan. And so that's how you will gain the inner strength. Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha Nistraigunyo Bhavajana Nidvandvo Nitya Sattvastaha Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. Next. Yavanartha Udapane Yavanartha Udapane Sarvatah Samplutodake Sarvatah Samplutodake Tavan Sarveshu Vedeshu Tavan Sarveshu Vedeshu Brahmanasya Vijanataha Brahmanasya Vijanataha. Very beautiful verse here. Yavan Artha Udapane Sarvatah Samplutodake Tavan Sarveshu Vedeshu Brahmanasya Vijanataha. So here Krishna says Vijanataha Brahmanasya. Now who is a Brahmana? So a Brahmana here is not by Janma here meant, yeah, but by mindset. A Sattva Guna Pradhana, one who has this Vyavasayatmika Buddhi and who has the clarity of purpose, who is predominantly Sattvic, is a Brahmana in this context. And this Brahmana who knows, Vijanataha means who has the wisdom. Vijanataha Brahmanasya. Let's take the first line first. Yavan Artha Udapane Sarvataha Samplutodake. Now Udapana. Udapana means a small pond or a well. You know, earlier in about 50 years ago, our parents, they would have had wells in the homes, right? They would draw water for everything, for bathing, for cooking and so on. Or people lived near the rivers. But sometimes the rivers, when they go dry, then you have to depend on a well for water. Now, first line says, Yavan Artha Udapane. So, the benefit, the use of a pond or a well, Udapane, of what use is it when there is everywhere, Sarvataha Samplutodake, when Udakam is Sampluta, which means imagine a flood situation. Yeah, flood situation, water everywhere. Then what purpose does that little pond or the well, serve? Is there any purpose? No, because there's abundant water around me. I can make use of that water. In fact, the ponds and the wells will be submerged in the flood situation, right? So Yavan, as much use of that pond or the well, no, when there is a flood situation. Now let's connect the example to the main point here. So too, for this wise Brahmana or for this Jnani who has gained the limitless Purnatvam, who has gained the understanding Aham Purnam Brahma. Of what use are the rest of the Vedas for such a Brahmana? Tavan. Tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanata. So which means that for such a jnani, there is no more use for dharma, artha and kama. Why? Because the moksha parama purushartha covers all of them. In the sense, when I discover the fullness, the Atma Sarupa, then will there be desires for dharma, artha and kama? I don't need any of those. I don't even need punyam. What to speak about security and wealth? So that is the example here. Yavanartha udapane sarvata samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanataha. We'll briefly enter the next verse, and the next verse is globally famous. Gita is famous for this verse alone, and everybody, I'm sure, knows this verse. We have heard it from our childhood onwards. And this verse used to even appear on, the small TV screens and the big movies, to impact upon the mind that about the nature, the nature of karma. But this shloka is very much misunderstood also. Yeah. So let us briefly see what this verse is all about. Karmanyevadhikaraste कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः मा ते सङ्गोत्स्वकर्मणि मा ते सङ्गोत्स्वकर्मणि कर्मणि एव अधिकारः ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्म फल हेतुः हेतुर्भूः मा ते संगः अस्तु अकर्मणि. Again, there is double negatives here. So here, the shloka, very powerful shloka, is saying your right, your freedom, your choice. Where does it lie? Adhikaraha is karmani eva. Karmani eva adhikaraha te. We have a choice with respect to the actions. I can choose to attend the Zoom class, or I can choose to skip it and listen to the recording later. If the waiter brings the food, I can choose to have it or not have it. Yeah. And if I have a pen in the hand, I can choose to hold it, to write with it, to throw it up, to drop it, or throw it elsewhere. But once the action has happened, can I control the effect? If I throw it, then where is it going to land? I cannot determine. Depends on the intensity of the throw, the obstacles it will meet, the weight of the pen, the wind speed perhaps, and then the trajectory will be determined. And if I drop it, the free fall takes care, the gravity. Now, who created gravity? Not Newton, but Newton discovered it. Ishvara, The laws are in place. Yeah. And so the result comes from Ishvaraha. And I have a right only to act. Yeah. So what can I control in life? Only the choice of action. Yeah. Only the choice of action. Like the familiar example, I go to catch the public transport, the bus. Yeah. The bus can be on time, and as expected, I get onto the bus, or I miss the bus. Yeah. Or a friend comes and gives me a lift in the car. Yeah. So the results can be equal to what I expected, more, less, or opposite even. So here Krishna says here, Karmani eva adhikarahate ma phaleshu kadachana. May one not desire for the result. Ma karma phala hetu bhuhu. So you don't become the author of karma phala, but only karma. Karma hetuhu, but not karma phala hetuhu. Then the last quarter is ma te sangaha astu akarmani, double negative. That may one not be attached to inaction. The thought can come to my mind, okay, if I cannot determine the result, then why take action? Why act at all? No, Krishna doesn't want us to be lazy. He says the farmer will sow the seeds and do the proper irrigation and prevent the field from pests. But really, the harvest happens because of the grace of Bhagavan. Sun is Bhagavan, rains are Bhagavan, weather is Bhagavan. So the results always come to us from Bhagavan. And so, how should I receive the results? As prasada. Just as when I go to the temple, sometimes I can get a delicious big laddu as prasadam. Sometimes it's only kumkumam or vibhuti. Sometimes it is only tirtham, water. But do I complain? I receive any and all of them graciously as prasada. So that is the prasada buddhi here. So Krishna is saying that, even though the result is not guaranteed to, fully, yet I must work. Ma astu te sangaha akarmani. May one not be attached to inaction. That is, in other words, may one put forth the effort. Very important shloka for our children and grandchildren. They have to be taught that I have to put in the effort, but at the same time, not crave for the results to come in a certain way. And even if there's failure, so what? It's not the end of the world. Yeah. Otherwise, how will they face the game of life, which have got so many ups and downs? So this shloka we will take up again in detail in the next class. And it's only showing us about how to let go of our expectations and attachment, just as a doctor. A doctor will give one patient tablets, sugar-coated pills. But another patient, the doctor may give a painful injection. So what I deserve and in what form I deserve the karma phalam, Ishvara alone knows. No? But let me offer my contribution, my karmas, swadharma, as Ishwararpana, and then be ready to receive the phalam as prasad. Okay. Om Tat Sat. Om वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजना गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेदाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोतीर्णा खलु पाण्डवारणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधना बोधितम् लोके सज्जन षट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलप्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपा तमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ